Tales of the Jazz Age, also Fitzgerald, 1922. All but two of these pieces were composed prior to 1920, even though the title refers to the flapper era. The title was to try to draw some attention to the roaring 20s, Jazz Age, that kind of thing going on. And wanted to come out in the same year as his novel, so it was a double whammy for Fitzgerald in 1922. One of ours, by Willa Cather, tells the story of a Nebraska farm boy who dies fighting in France in World War I. Births in 1922 included Jack Kerouac, Brendan Behan, Robert Grillet, the great experimental French writer, and Kurt Vonnegut Jr., the Breakfast of Champions. The 1920s was a hotbed for writers. In 1923, Burlesque Buck's stories appeared in American magazines and newspapers about her life in China. It was not, however, until she divorced her missionary husband and married a publisher from New York City that she obtained fame and success with her novel The Good Earth in 1931. Many writers were active during the 20s that didn't have a particular volume appear in 22, but Thomas Mann, certainly. You have Ernest Hemingway, Langston Hughes, Canty Cullen, Gwendolyn Bennett, Rachel Lindsay, Franz Kafka, Edna Ferber, Federico Garcia Lorca, George Bernard Shaw, Khalil Gibran, John Steinbeck. You go on and on with a list equally as long. Robert Frost, Wallace Stevens, Ezra Pound, Gertrude Stein, William Carlos Williams. The list goes on. In 1928, getting to the close of the decade, D.H. Lawrence had Lady Chatterley's Lover privately printed in Florence, Italy. In 1930, an expurgated version appeared in England, but it was not until 1960 that the complete text of Lady Chatterley's Lover was released to the world. Many people found it offensive, great detail with sexuality and dirty language, really talking dirty. How can they get away with that? D.H. Lawrence did get away with it. The decade finally ended with one of the most uncompromising manuscripts ever submitted to an editor, a publisher, with William Faulkner's The Sound and the Fury. With the stock market crash in 1929, the artistic watering holes began to dry up all over the world. The prize money vanished. Such magazines in the 20s as Opportunity Magazine, Charles S. Johnson, editor, held 3 major contests that provided money in many categories: essay, short story, drama, poetry, distributed money into the community. Well, these quit happening. In 1933, when Hitler became Chancellor of Germany, Thomas Mann and his wife were on holiday in Switzerland. They were informed that they should not return home. Charles Charles S. Johnson got a job in Nashville, Tennessee at Fisk University. In the 1930s, you had people like James Joyce and Henry Miller who fled ahead of the Nazi invasion of Paris. Also in the 30s, Federico Garcia Lorca was killed and Miguel de Unamuno died under house arrest. The 30s was the age of the dictator, Germany, Italy, Spain, Russia, Japan, and taking over all these other areas. The 40s was the era of World War and its aftermath. So the whole 20 years was pretty much rough on writers. Not to say good things didn't appear, but publishing and writing were not the main things on the world's consciousness in the 30s and 40s. Momentum regained itself in the 50s and I think re-exploded in the 1960s. A quick glimpse at the current top 10 bestsellers offers a sorry pushcart of forgettable movie star books, and ramblings, and scandal mongering. The 1920s provided enduring literature of depth and substance, and it was surrounded by an intellectual atmosphere that nourished it. The decade encompassed major works by many of the most important writers of the 20th century. The literature of the 1920s. This is Speer Presents, coming to you from New Mexico.